Alright guys, your second antiderivative review. First question. I've been given two integrals and I have to find another. What you want to do is look at all three different limits. I have limits of a -3, I have a 4, and I have a 6. So I want to set this up. I want an integral from the lowest to the highest, and that is equal to the integral from low to middle plus the integral from middle to high. So I set this up. Now let me fill in given information. Let's see here. 4 to 6, that integral is 8, plus 4 to -3. Well, I need the integral of -3 to 4. So if I flip my limits, I have to negate my answer. So that's a 5, and that equals 13. Now 13 is the integral from -3 to 6, but they want the answer for the integral from 6 to -3. So my final answer is a -13. Question 2. Given velocity, find the average velocity. If I want average, then I integrate velocity from my interval -3 to 2, and I have to divide by 2 minus -3. So this becomes, instead of dividing by 5, I'm going to put a 1/5 out in front. When I integrate, I get 6t minus t to the third over 3, and I have to evaluate from -3 to 2. Now you want to sub in 1/5 times upper limit minus lower limit. Your final answer should be 11 over 3. That's your final answer. Question 3. This is your fundamental theorem of calculus. You have a derivative and an integral, so they cancel. Now, that means my answer has something to do with tangent of t squared. In place of t, I put e to the x because that's my upper limit. So tangent of e to the x squared. Now, my limit, or yes, the upper limit wasn't just an x, it was e to the x. So I have to multiply by its derivative, and that's your answer. Question 4. Find the derivative and state the corresponding integration formula. First thing you have to do is find the derivative. So this is going to be a lot of chain rule. Power rule first. 2 sine of e to the 3x. Now I have to multiply by the derivative of sine, cosine e to the 3x, times the derivative of e to the 3x, e to the 3x times 3. So that's the derivative. The corresponding integration formula, and this is what we need, says that the integral of all of that, okay, so the integral of all of that, if I consolidate this, the 3 and the 2, that's a 6, and then I have e to the 3x, sine e to the 3x, cosine e to the 3x dx equals the original sine squared of e to the 3x plus c. That's your corresponding integration formula. That's your final answer. Question 5 is all about area above versus area below. The integral from b to a. Well, from a to b would be positive a, so from b to a, if I'm flipping that, the answer would be negative a. B, let's see, I need to do -4 times the integral from b to c. From b to c, that's below the x-axis, that's a negative b, so my answer is 4b. Now from c to a. Well, if I look at this, the integral from a to c would be a minus b, but they had flipped the limits, so therefore I need to negate my answer. So my answer is actually b minus a. That's your answer for part C. Find the area of the region bounded by. Okay, so I want the area of the bounded region. That means I'm just adding up all the areas. I don't care where they are, if they're above or below the x-axis. Those are all the areas. All right, flip it over. If I look at the back, some use sub, some just evaluating. 6, fundamental theorem of calculus, I have a derivative and an integral. They cancel. Now in this case, my variable is at the lower limit, so automatically I negate my answer. Instead of t to the 4th, I'm going to do sine of x to the 4th, and because that's not just an x, I need to multiply by its derivative. Question 7. You don't know how to integrate absolute values, so what you actually have to do is sketch your graph. My critical point, set the inside equal to 0. My critical point is going to be at 2. And then I want to look at what's happening at -2 and then at 4. When x is -2, I'm at, let's see here, 8. So that's -2, 8. And when x is 4, I'm at 4. That's the point 4, 4. So now I've got my absolute value. And you just want to find the area of both triangles. Everything's above the x-axis. Your final answer should be 20 if you do it correctly. Number 8, fundamental theorem of calculus. The variable is the upper limit, so I plug that in. So this becomes 4 times x to the 5th minus x to the 5th to the 4th. Now that's me subbing it in. All of that has to get multiplied by the derivative of the upper limit, 5x to the 4th. You have to have parentheses around the first binomial because all of that has to get derivative. Now this becomes 4x to the 5th minus x to the 20th times 5x to the 4th. Okay? Number 9, if I want to integrate this, this is not a u substitution. This is where you just want to distribute and then use your power rules. So if I distribute, I have the integral of x to the 5/2 plus 3x to the 1/2. Oops, that's 1/2. And so when I integrate, I get x to the 7/2 divided by 7/2. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, plus 3 times x to the, if I add 1, 3/2 multiplied by the reciprocal, plus c. Okay? Hopefully the rest of them go okay. They're all derivatives. Number 12 is a u substitution. 13 is a u substitution. 14 and 15. So watch out for those at the end. All right, good luck.